Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I send you all so much love and light. I hope that you guys are all doing great. So today we're going to take a look and see what is your career like, what is work like, and what is your money looking like in July. So pick whichever number or picture you're drawn to the most and receive your message from spirit about work, career, and money. And if you are new here, my name is Lynn. This is Passionate Heart Tarot. Let's jump in and see what's on the horizon for you work-wise, money-wise, and career-wise in July. Some of you are going to decide to stay where you are, especially if you've been thinking about switching jobs, looking for another job, changing companies, changing departments. Some of you are going to decide that you are in the right place and this is where you belong because of the shift that you see happen as far as the environment at work. Some of you could feel like recently things have gotten toxic where you are, or you just feel like you're being micromanaged or you're under a microscope, and you could feel like you haven't had the kind of freedom that you want to have, because you are skilled enough to do your job without somebody constantly looking over your shoulder. And I know for some of you here, you could feel like recently you've been dealing with a very difficult and controlling boss, and maybe even the environment at work has just been very oppressive. And because of that, you could have even been thinking, you know what, is this where I belong? Thinking a lot about your path and where you should be and if you should change, if you should leave. In July, I see a huge turnaround, and the overall energy shows me you getting along so well with those that you work with. Feeling like the chains that have been on you, binding you, the way that you've been controlled, you're no longer controlled like that anymore. So there's a true sense of freedom that you'll experience. It's just like a load off, where you feel like somebody's even like insulting your intelligence by micromanaging you in the way that they've been just like trying to control you. Or if you just feel like the things that you've been dealing with has just become toxic for you, unhealthy for you, and you just feel like you've been stuck, maybe even trapped. Well, with the way things shift, I see things being so much lighter around you for work. You're going to see that people believe in you, that people support you, and you're going to have even a couple different people that are there to stand up for you. It just feels like the energy in the environment at work changes, where, like I said, everyone is getting along and we have the same goals. And it's a goal of ours to work as a team, to support each other and get along so well. So what I can see going on, for those of you that have been thinking about should you stay or should you leave and where you should go, when you see the environment change like this for you, you kind of put those thoughts on the back burner, where maybe you've been like researching and like even some days ready to call it quits, maybe even saying like I'm not going to go in today, like I'm over this. Just know that you have a huge sense of relief that's coming in for you, where I feel like you're going to see how much stability you have here. You're going to see that you don't need to leave, that this is a place where you could be long term or remain long term. It is a place where there's potential for growth. You're actually going to have a lot of people that are looking to you for support. So you know what's funny about that is I know where some of you feel like you need to be supported. I see you gaining that support and that sense of inclusion and that sense of you know, that you're part of a team and you don't have to do everything by yourself. You have people that think you're intelligent and think that you're skilled and believe in you. And then I can also see where you give that energy right back into the environment, where you have people that are turning to you for guidance and direction because of the way that you are so skilled and you know what you're doing. You might even take someone under your wing in July, someone that you see a lot of yourself in that person. And for others of you, what Spirit wants you to know, like if you resonate with the energy of you're the one that's been needing support, Spirit wants you to know that you're going to have someone that comes to your aid and takes you under their wing. It just feels like in July, you find clarity where there's been confusion. The clarity that you find is telling you to stay where you are and not change, move, relocate, quit, telling you to stay where you are. That's what I can see going on. I want to look at this devil's energy. The Five of Swords. Ace of Cups is coming through. Did I mention these energies, Pisces and Scorpio? Pisces is very strong. Scorpio and Capricorn is also here. So I wonder if you guys, is that your sun, moon, or rising signs? Those of you watching this reading, I'll mention it to you. The initial M could be important to you as well because it's coming through. Could be your initial, maybe something significant to you career-wise, business-wise. It's coming through. The Five of Swords. I feel like that's even a piece of advice to someone from Spirit, is to don't take things lying down. You know what? You may need to stand up for yourself where you feel like you've had someone being too hard on you, or maybe even someone bullying you, someone trying to control you, or if someone just thinks they're your boss and they're like your coworker, you know, someone who's completely delusional. What I can see is how you kind of slay that demon, how you kind of slay that energy is by standing up for yourself. So if anyone here is wondering and you resonate with the energy of the toxic environment that I can see, and maybe particularly you feel like you've had someone that has been hard on you, picking on you, I have to say, like, even if this is your boss, you're not going to get in trouble if you stand up for yourself. Like, if you put this person in check and you just voice what you don't agree with, if you stand up for yourself, if you feel like someone's been insulting your intelligence or just like trying to push your buttons or trying you in some way, shape, or form, what I can see happens is if you stand up to that person, that ends all of that toxicity, all of that drama. So someone here, I feel like you're being urged, a message to you from Spirit is to stop taking things laying down and to connect more with your ego, because I feel like you could be being too nice. You could be being a little, you know, it's just almost like you're being too nice. It's like, yes, I know that you want to be professional, but there is certainly a way to stand up for yourself and still make it clear that you're not going to be pushed around while being professional. And what I can see is you finding that balance, because I know that for whoever it is that stands up for themselves and fights for what they believe in, and stands firm, you know, really stands their ground, they end all of that toxic energy that's been happening, or maybe even, like I said, a bully or someone that's been being controlling. What I can see so much in your reading is a change of mind that you have about walking away from where you are. You really start to slow down, especially if you resonate with this and you feel like your mind has been racing and things like that, feeling like very antsy, wanting to leave. I see things completely shifting for you. All right, I want to look at that Six of Pentacles. So some of you are going to take someone under your wing and maybe even step in where you see someone's been being mistreated. For others of you, if you feel like you're the one that's been being mistreated at work, even in having your intelligence insulted by someone constantly watching you, checking in on you, I feel like you're going to stand up for yourself. And maybe it's even because you have someone that shows you so much support, takes you under their wing, so to speak, and gives you a piece of advice where you take that. They could have even gone through a similar situation that you've gone through with this same person or this same bully and said, you know what, you know what helped me is I stood up for myself, and that's what you need to do. Because I know that there's a huge shift that's getting ready to come in. I want to look at the moon card. There's a huge shift that's getting ready to come in. That's why the Ten of Swords is coming through in reverse. Because this just shows me what some of you here have been going through in this environment. Feeling very drained, feeling very defeated, even feeling betrayed at times, feeling like you don't know who you can trust. And it's just this overall sense of wanting to give up. But what Spirit is showing me is you deciding to stay where you are because of the way things shift. And then also, this is an affirmation to you that this difficult cycle that you've been going through in this toxic environment is all going to change. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel like you have a sense of security again, and maybe even a sense of security truly for the first time. Okay, let's look at that Knight of Pentacles. Look at that. Do you see what I mean? The shift, the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles together. And even the Three of Pentacles is the overall energy here under this deck. See, this shows me you being committed and remaining in your contract, or if you've signed a contract in any way, deciding that you want to stay in it. But it's moreover just about the commitment that you invest here. Like, this is where I'm going to stay. This is where I'm going to be. I'm not walking away. You're going to see like a complete 180 shift turnaround in the whole vibe. For those of you that feel you've just been waiting to receive career-wise what you feel belongs to you, and you feel like you've been waiting patiently and doing everything right and investing in all the right ways, that pays off for you in July. I actually see so much support coming your way. It's here over and over and over again. This energy of you feeling like you have comrades around you at work. You feeling even like you have friends around you at work. So some of you, your work acquaintanceships can even shift into a friendship with someone, where not only do you guys spend time together at work, but you actually, the two of you become good friends that you're going to even spend time with each other outside of work, have fun, laugh, kick back, things like that. I just see you gaining all of the support that you need. So if you've been wondering if you should leave, I feel like Spirit is telling you sit tight and watch this shift happen for you. It's going to all work out. I mean, that's really what you need to know. Things are going to turn out successfully for you. And for some of you here, I just see you setting such a shining example to those around you. So for those of you that I'm speaking to in the reading, where I can see you take someone under your wing, where you see that they need support, and maybe even they've been getting the cold shoulder from those around them, been having to deal with people that are controlling, or even someone that's like a work bully, even if that person is the boss, I can see how much you help someone. And all of like you helping someone and supporting someone and giving them guidance and being there for them, word is going to spread about you, and your kindness. Because I could even see for some of you here where you take someone under your wing, or maybe it's even as simple as you take them under your wing because you're in charge of training. You get put in a position where you have to show someone the ropes, you have to teach them, you have to train them, they shadow you, they follow along with you. That is going to put you in such a positive light where you become like your reputation is sealed with being someone who is approachable, who is kind, who is knowledgeable, and who is skilled. Because I can just see when you provide support to someone in need, this definitely feels like a coworker kind of energy. It makes you shine so bright. It puts you in the spotlight in all the best possible ways. So almost like two different scenarios for some of you here. You know what? Also, this could be spirit letting you know how your reputation turns around. If you're the one that I can see in the reading that has been upset and you feel like you want to quit, you feel like it's too much, you feel like you don't have support, when you stand up for yourself, I can see that that's what like breaks the toxicity and brings about all of these changes. And yes, it could even be in the form of someone who's, like I said, been in your shoes and they give you a piece of advice and you follow that advice. So I even feel like for someone here, if you have a person that you work with that's been in the business for much longer than you, been at this place much longer than you, and this person tries to give you a piece of advice, I would definitely advise that you take that advice because they are looking out for you. It is in your best interest, and this person could actually be a key person in your life right now. I think what you need to know is everything is going to work out for you and be very successful. I don't see you going someplace new, starting something new. It just feels like you change your mind about doing all that. Now, when it comes to your money in particular, if you have been wanting to get a loan or receive, if you've applied for a loan, because I see you receiving money. So if you feel like you're the one that I can see in this reading that has been um, maybe feeling worried about your money, feeling worried about the debt that you have, feeling worried about like, how am I going to take care of things? I need to get a loan in order to move forward or fix something. And if you've been, really worried about how all of this is going to play out, and you've even been kind of saying to yourself, like, I hope that this goes through. I hope that like I can be saved money wise. What spirit wants you to know is you are going to be, either you're going to get that loan that you've been looking for, or you're going to get the money to help you if you feel you've been struggling. Because I can see you feeling like that the debt that's been hanging over you, or the bills or the responsibilities, you're in a position now where you feel you can take care of all that, where it's all going to work out. So it's even a shift for you money wise if you feel like you've been struggling, if you feel like you've been having difficulties paying things, and it's even making you feel like the future is so unclear. All of that is going to be behind you soon. And you know what happens is you realize that you learned a valuable lesson in July, where I see you really slowing down and being much more careful about the way that you choose to spend money. You're not going to spend money in July on anything that you feel is frivolous, anything that you feel is unnecessary. I feel like you have a very eye-opening experience that makes you see, you know what, I need to be more careful with my money as far as savings. I need to make sure that I'm saving. I need to make sure that I'm planning for my future and taking things seriously. So if any of you here feel like materialism has just gotten a hold of you recently, and maybe you've gotten yourself into more debt than you like, or you're just overspending, maybe even trying to just have fun and keep up with what everyone else is doing around you, I see where you take a step back and you see to yourself, you know what, like this money and spending like this doesn't make me anything more than what I am now. I still am the person that I am, whether or not I'm spending money like crazy. It doesn't really matter. I don't need to spend money in order to feel like I'm important. So for some of you here, I can see where materialism has had a hold over you, and all of that shifts for you in July, because it really is like you shift your focus from money to more important things, from money and possessions to what really matters in life. Your friends, your family, love, relationships, things like that. So in your career and money reading, what I see, it's funny because I don't know how to express this to you, but it's almost like you slay this beast. I don't know how else to express it, because it's very visual here with the devil in reverse and then this 5 of Swords. It's you being back in control. Either you get control over your spending, or you get control and feel like you have your power back, where you're not letting someone trample all over you and bring you down in a low energy and vibration. So your reading is all about the page turning for you, and the negativity and hardships being behind you, the struggles as far as relationships at work being behind you. It comes through as support, success, and happiness. Okay, you guys, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I send you all so much love and light. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next reading. Wow, there's sword after sword after sword after sword. That's very significant. Libra's energy is here. Are you guys Libras watching this? Or is that your moon or rising sign? Could be. I'll mention it because it's here. So this situation that I can see happening at work for some of you, it's someone saying something that ultimately they regret so much that they said it. It feels like for some of you here, you could even end up having words, or even like an intelligent debate, a spirited debate, but that ends up going a little bit too far. It feels like I can see someone's ego getting the best of them, and the two of you actually really triggering each other. So this to me looks like there's someone that you could end up having words with at work. And it feels like it gets to the point where something that I've been holding back, I'm not going to hold it back anymore, because like I'm just to that place where I feel so annoyed that I'm going to tell this person exactly what is on my mind. And that is the truth about it. That is how I see it. That is my opinion. So it's like openly expressing an opinion in a very unfiltered way. But you know what I see happening is whoever you express your opinion to, or however the situation comes about, that person gives it right back to them. But it feels like they even take it up a notch and hit below the belt. And it just feels like it's such a regrettable situation that happens. So I feel like someone's message from spirit is to really mind what you say to a coworker, or even mind what you say to someone that's a customer. Just really mind what you say. That's how I have to put it, because I can see where there's so much regret that comes from that. It goes much further than it needs to. And it even results in this thing where some of you will have to like sit down with that person and like hash it out and find common ground. It feels like it just doesn't even need to get to that point. For some of you here, you could be the one that I could see that truly is like the strong silent type, a person that is very skilled. And you tend to keep your opinion to yourself until you feel like you're pushed to that point. So if you're that person that I can see in the reading, and that's why there's this energy of an intelligent and maybe like spirited debate, but that just goes a little bit too far, you're the one that I can see that tells the truth, and you say to this person clearly how you feel about the situation and your opinion on things. And you know what happens is that person that you say this to, it just feels like you've pushed a button of theirs. You've triggered them. And it feels that's why they hit below the belt, because maybe they don't have a good enough comeback or rebuttal, or they feel like in that moment, all they can do is defend themselves. And it just feels like that person could even get really petty. And even try to call you out for something, maybe that didn't go the way that you wanted it to at one point in time, and maybe even a time where you made a mistake. It feels like this person could throw it in your face just to try to gain back control of the conversation, just so they can feel like they won the argument, because this feels like it could turn into an argument. It all depends on how well the two of you hold back from each other. Now, when I say argument, don't think it's necessarily something that's screaming and yelling and hollering and doing all that. It could just be like this disagreement that does get heated, but you may not break your professionalism. But then again, at the same time, it feels like this person really hits below the belt because they don't have any, they're just in that moment, they feel like they don't have anything else to say. So I'm putting so much stress and emphasis on a conversation because it's sword after sword after sword. And when you see the majority of the cards as swords, and especially that Five of Cups, that spirit letting us know that the conversations that you have at work are going to be extremely important. So that's why I feel like it's a piece of advice to someone, if they choose to take it, to really mind what they say. Some things are just not even worth getting involved in. Sometimes it's not even worth wasting your breath on someone who really doesn't matter and who's really not important. Because I know that this energy kind of goes in both directions, where the one that hits below the belt, they feel terrible about that. They feel ashamed when it's all said and done. They feel like they made themselves look like a fool. They wish they didn't say what they said, but then like their ego got the best of them, and when they were in that position, they didn't want to look like a fool, but they end up looking like a fool anyway. And for others of you, even if you keep your cool and you just tell your truth and you just tell the truth, I can see where you look back at it and wish you never even got involved in the conversation in the first place. Like, it's not even worth it. It just feels like in your reading, there's so much emphasis on words that are said that are deeply regretted. That's what it's like. So I would definitely refrain from engaging in any kind of gossip. I would definitely refrain from like jumping into a conversation that has nothing to do with me or my business or my department or my coworkers. And moreover, if you have someone that tries you in this way and hits below the belt, when you're just simply stating facts and saying the truth, do not sink down to that person's level. Not saying that you necessarily would, but it's advice here from Spirit, like, do not even sink down to that person's level, because you know why? They're going to make a fool of themselves, and they're going to come back and apologize, because the Eight of Cups shows me an apology. Someone saying to the other one, I got too heated. I let my emotions get the best of me, and even asking for forgiveness. But for others of you, it could even result in like, okay, you two need to have a meeting, you need to sit down, you need to talk about this. And like, who really wants to go through that? For some of you, I know that you could be in a situation now where you feel like there's been tension that's mounting with someone, and maybe you've been just staying quiet about it the whole time. I feel like your advice from Spirit in this reading is it's probably better off that you just stay quiet about it, especially if you know that it doesn't have anything to do with you directly. I mean, you could be in a place of righteous anger. You could be wanting to state facts or stand up for someone, but really what I can see in your reading is for you to just mind only what belongs to you, only what has to do with you. I would definitely mind my own business. I would stay out of conversations. I definitely would, because it's just here over and over. So this is definitely a set of circumstances, an occurrence that I feel happens. This is like a moment in time. But then I feel like the overall message in the reading is to really connect with your intellect before you say something. Do not speak from a place of emotion. Speak, like, if it's about business, just keep it about business. If it's about facts, just keep it about facts. It could even be important that you just leave your personal opinion out of certain things. And depending on what you do for work and career, that's definitely something to think about. So I know that this is like an instance and an occurrence that happens, but in the reading, because we're looking at the month of July, I feel like what Spirit is showing us is to really think before you say certain things. Think before, even if you share certain things, post certain things. When it comes to work, I would totally leave my personal life out of it. If something happens and you feel frustrated and you want to vent on social media or you want to vent to someone in the office, I feel like everything here from Spirit is telling you to really think twice before you do that. Because there could be something that you post that you don't expect someone to see and they end up seeing it at work. So it feels like in your reading, there needs to be really clear-cut boundaries between your work and personal life. And when it comes to what you share on social media, your personal social media, I wouldn't share anything that's work related. It just looks like what happens is someone speaks their truth and it triggers this person to kind of want to be vengeful in the things that they say back to them. Like, what they're saying though is the absolute truth, but it seems like this person can't really handle that truth. And instead of having something intelligent to say, they just hit below the belt and have something smart to say, or they throw something in the other person's face. I know that they end up regretting it, but I feel like it's a situation that could be avoided altogether. I'm going to look at that 9 of Swords. The Fool card coming through. That's very interesting. The Fool card around the 9 of Swords, and even the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Swords in reverse. I think it's super important to think about things long term, and I know that's something that we don't always do when it comes to work because we tend to get comfortable. We tend to get ourselves in a routine and maybe even in a rut. But if you pick this spread, I feel like Spirit is saying to you, think about things long term. And just because something could give you release in the moment and you get it off your chest, it feels like in the end it's not worth it. And you know what's even crazy? To one extreme, someone could be so ashamed to show their face around the office again, or around the store again, or just around you work-wise, whatever, wherever you work, whatever you do. Someone here could be so ashamed about the way they carried on that they actually end up not coming back. They actually end up deciding to take a chance in another direction. So someone here, I will say this, you could have a person that quits and it feels like they spontaneously quit. I feel like they quit from a place of embarrassment. There's a lot of energy coming through around that. And since the reading is general, I'm just, trying to narrow it down for whatever position you might be in. So if you're someone that's in charge of employees or you have employees, I can see where you could have one that quits and really it stems from embarrassment, not able to live it down. So this could even be maybe a position or a job that you're in where you have like a lot of turnover in employees. And I can see where someone leaves after an argument, or they leave after they feel they were embarrassed. But for others of you, I feel like it's just a very important message to you from spirit. Like if you want to feel like you can walk in and be proud, walk in and hold your head up high, I would avoid any kind of tit for tat arguments at all costs. I would just mind my own business this month, not get involved in anything that has nothing to do with me. And that really is the best advice to you from spirit. And I will say this for someone here, because this is like a little personal message, like a side note. If you feel like you resonate with these energies and you feel like you've gone through a situation at work that was humiliating for you, or you feel like it humiliated you, embarrassed you, and you're wondering like what should you do? Should you stay? Should you take a leap of faith in the other direction? If you have that question on your mind, I feel like what spirit is saying to you is it may not be as bad as you think, and it's going to pass. So if you feel like you've gone through a situation like that and you feel like at this point I don't want to go back, I don't want to return because it's just so awkward and it's embarrassing. If you feel like you've invested a lot where you are and you've been there for a while, it's not worth losing it all, giving it up and walking away. So I even feel like spirit is telling you, if you've been in that situation, to not walk away, to stay and know that it's all going to smooth out, that it's all going to work out. And maybe you're just going to take a lesson that you learned from it. That's all that means. Okay, I'm going to look at this Ace of Swords. The Devil's energy around the Ace of Swords. See, that's why I feel like there's these strong circumstances about trying to control the conversation and even going tit for tat. Capricorn's energy is here, you guys. Libra's energy as well. It could be, your own moon or rising signs, or sun, moon, or rising signs, because it's here. The Devil. You see, that feels like it's something that gets more heated and heated and heated. And the more we engage in this conversation or this discussion, it's good to know when to call it quits. Because I feel like whoever it is that feels like they're in this position where, you know what, I'm just saying the truth and I'm going to say the truth and that's just what it is. I see where that person has a way of pushing your buttons. Like, not only do they feel like they're triggered and their buttons are pushed, they will hit below the belt and say things just to get under your skin. It definitely feels like it's a moment. It's an occurrence. It's an instance that happens. But for some of you here, I feel like there's this message to you from spirit about someone that throughout July could be throwing little jabs at you, saying things to kind of bother you, to test you, to try you, and get under your skin. And I can see if you let them, they'll get under your skin. And I say if you let them because you're in control of what you choose to own from this person, what energy you even choose to accept from them. Because does what they have to say really even matter? Probably not. Just seems like a person who's really just trying to make themselves look important somehow. If you know you've already been caught up in a situation like this and you know right now currently someone has been getting on your last nerves, I feel like what you want to do is try to avoid that person as best as you can. And don't let anyone like knock you into this lower vibration or make you feel like you want to lash out and say something in order to prove yourself. Have faith and confidence in yourself that you have nothing to prove to someone who's not even important. Yes, that has to do with a coworker, but for some of you, if you work in, you work with the public or you're in a line of service, I feel like throughout July, it's very important that you try and remain as grounded as you can, to not let someone who's either a complete stranger or is just only going to be here for 5 minutes and then gone and you never see them again. Don't let that person ruin your day or get under your skin. It's not even worth it in the end. Ultimately, it's not even worth it in the end. All right, you guys, that's what I can see going on. Some of you even have a person that is going to return. Like if they relocated, or they've been traveling, or they switched departments or something like that, I can see someone that some of you here actually have like a good bond and connection with this person. They're like a really good work friend of yours. And I know that this is someone that you could even like open up and share things with. I can see them returning. I just think that what Spirit wants to tell someone here, if they choose to take this advice, is even to not let anyone that is like a negative coworker or someone that knows that they like bend the rules a lot, they tend to get into trouble, they tend to get spoken to, someone who's not the most professional. Don't attach yourself so much to that person where you are looked at as someone that's close to them. So I feel like really in this reading, Spirit is telling you to just keep to yourself and just mind what business is yours. And even think about who you choose to like mix and mingle with at work, because it can affect your reputation in July. Because I just pick up so much on this sense of regret that's here. I mean, look at the way that these two people are hanging their head like that. So I feel like there's a lot of messages that have come through on how to avoid ending up in this place where you feel like you made a mistake and you feel like you regret where something goes too far. It's definitely surrounding a verbal argument or conversation with someone. It's not necessarily about a mistake that you make as far as, you misdocument something, or you don't do something the right way as far as like manually. It's not about that. It's all about the words. Like I said at the beginning of your reading, there's like swords, 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 swords. So that's a heavy emphasis on watching what you say, but also watching what you let penetrate your energy and your peace of mind and your peace. Okay, you guys, that's what I can see going on. When it comes to money and spending and things like that, with the Wheel of Fortune coming through, especially with that Devil card, because that's like so much emphasis on materialism and like wanting to, thinking a lot about your ego, thinking a lot about your spending, and like, just being in a place where you want to look good, like you want all the finer things. You're thinking a lot about how others see you in July. And because you're thinking so much about your reputation in the eyes of others, that's where I can see you're splurging a lot, because it feels like you're in this energy of I want to impress. But you know what? I can see you're too worried about what others think of you, because there is definitely buyer's remorse coming through for some of you here. So I feel like as you spend money in July, do it without the focus on, oh, what are they going to think of me? How am I going to look? If you're going to like make a big purchase, make sure like you're really doing it for yourself, and even think about why. Don't get me wrong, but when you see so much energy here of like splurging and taking a chance, but then I regret it afterwards, that's why I feel like Spirit is telling you to really think things through before you spend a significant amount of money. And to each of us, a significant amount of money looks different. But with this energy combined, the ego, the control, the materialism, the reputation, when I see this kind of energy combined, I feel like Spirit is just telling you to just be more truthful with yourself. You have everything already that you need. You do. And you already have an amazing reputation. You don't need to spend and go above and beyond and splurge. Even if that's on a person, to make yourself look better or to impress this person. Because for some of you, this could even be the type of money that you spend on someone romantically. Because maybe, you just want to treat them and you just feel like you want them to experience the finer things through you. And for some of you here, it could even just have to do with the way that you want to impress this person. But I will say that, like, if you overspend, you're going to regret overspending. You're going to feel like it's a mistake. And you may actually even try to return whatever this is that you bought. See someone's I think you're going to see the truth about someone when you actually tell them no, and like, I can't do that. Especially if this has to do with you dating or spending money on someone that you want to impress, or maybe even spending money on someone that's a family member of yours. Watch the truth about this person when you tell them the truth about the situation, and maybe that you can't spend that kind of money on it, or you tell them the truth about the situation like you're uncomfortable doing that. Because for some of you here, I can see the way that when you tell someone no, that you can't do that, you're not going to give them that money, you're not going to spend that kind of money on something, I can see you look at this person totally different after that. And some of you here, you may even feel like you're questioning that person's intentions towards you. So it's like, okay, when I don't spend money on you like this, when I don't splurge like this, now all of a sudden we're not in the same place. Be careful for someone that could be latched onto you because of what they can get from you, especially if, like I said, you are spending money on them, taking them to expensive places and treating them. Because when you say no to that person, or say like, we're going to have to go to a different place, or I can't spend that kind of money, the hangman is like having a change in the way that you're looking at someone, a change in your mind, a change in your heart, a change in the way that you see this person. For some of you here, you might see how toxic someone has been for you, how they're not a good influence on you. Okay, that's what I can see going on. Lots of energy surrounding spending money for all the wrong reasons and making smarter decisions about it. Even instances where you regret what you bought, you regret the money that you feel you lost, felt like it was a risk and you took it and you regret it. So, you know what? If you're thinking of taking a leap of faith money-wise, investing in something, and you're here particularly looking for a message of guidance from spirit about, should I take that chance? No, you shouldn't, because what I can see is you regret it. Of course, you're going to have to do what you feel is best for you, but if you were looking for that guidance and you just got it here now, you're getting a huge warning from spirit about you need to be more just make wiser decisions about your money. And this is not a wise choice. It's not a wise choice for you to just be spontaneous and invest, because I see if you take this leap of faith money-wise, you regret it. And if you tell someone no after they've been counting on you to like give them money or support them somehow, you're going to see that that person is not really who you thought they were this whole time. It's so funny that when you cut off funds or you pull away financially, that's when you see someone's true colors. All right, you guys. So when it comes to money, don't take any risks. Don't spend money for the wrong reasons. And don't let anyone put pressure on you where you feel like you need to spend large amounts of money in order to impress them, in order to, in order to keep up with them. I feel like when I look at the overall energy in your reading, money and career reading, Spirit is really advising you to just ground your energy throughout the month and make sure that you're making wise decisions. You really look before you leap when it comes to career and when it comes to career and the environment at work and how you interact with people. And moreover, when it comes to money and how you spend, look before you leap, ground your energy. I would avoid getting involved in things that have nothing to do with me. Okay, that's what I can see going on, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I love you so much. If you did, leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next reading. Sagittarius, your energy is very strong in this reading. So if you're a Sagittarius watching, I feel like your energy is coming through. It's like doubling down right here. Or maybe your moon and rising signs are in Sagittarius. So know that the kind of work that you put in is exactly the results that you're going to get. If when it comes to your business, work, career, you feel like you just don't have the motivation that you once had, like in July, Spirit is telling you to dig deep right now, to dig really deep and pick yourself up. Aquarius's energy is here. Are you guys Aquarius watching this? Is that your sun, moon, or rising sign? It's coming through, so I'll mention it. But that's what this vibe is like. The worst thing you can do career-wise is not take a chance. So if you're in this place right now where you feel like you just don't have the creativity or even the energy, or you just feel like I'm in a rut, I'm tired, I'm over it, I'm bored, I feel like what Spirit is telling you is to like really dig deep now. And even you have to try and find a work-life balance for yourself, because you could have been stretching yourself too thin and you wore yourself out. What I can see from Spirit is it's very important for you to connect with your higher self. So find this work-life balance where when you're not at work, you're taking the time that you need to really unwind, to detach, to unplug, and to connect with a higher vibration. So make sure that you're, making time for yourself to relax, whether you just want to close your eyes and listen to some music, whether you want to, get out in nature and take a walk, whether you even like to meditate, or I feel like what's really important for you to find this work-life balance is you get out in nature and you get outside. Because it just feels like if you don't, that you could become more and more forgetful even with things. Because maybe it's not even intentionally that you miss something or you're complacent about something. It could even be when you don't have this good work-life balance, how you just become drained and you forget about something important. So I feel like now is a good time for you to do a check-in when it comes to work and career and certain responsibilities. It's time for you to do a check-in and see, is there anything that I missed? Is there anything that I have coming up? Is there anything that I'm forgetting about? To just kind of prioritize and get things in order for yourself. Because I feel like what I need to tell someone is there's something that you're forgetting. So this message from Spirit is like the work that you put in is exactly what you're going to get out. And I feel like use that to your advantage. Because if you dig deep within and you find your sense of motivation and ambition, and you're even willing to open up and collaborate with others, you're going to see a lot of things come to fruition for you that you've been daydreaming about and wanting. You see the Seven of Pentacles in reverse shows me that you have blessings that want to come to you. You have accomplishments that want to come to you. It just feels like some of you could have been in this weird phase where you were working really hard at something, you didn't get the results that you wanted, and now you could be in this place where you feel down about that, and maybe even defeated and giving up because of that experience. But you're getting this huge nudge from Spirit that you are going to get what you've been hoping to receive, and that hard work that you put in before, it's going to pay off in July. You may feel like it's not paying off now, and that could be what has you down, but it is going to pay off. So don't give up now. Virgo's energy is also here, you guys. So are you Virgos watching this? Could be your own, sun, moon, or rising signs. It's here. You could have a combination of these signs even watching this. Virgo, Aquarius, Sagittarius is here. Keep pushing forward. I can pick up on this energy where maybe you just felt like you hit a slump, or you feel like you hit a plateau. Keep pushing through, because it's not over, and all the hard work you've been putting in, you are about to receive it. Don't give up now and start to get lazy now or frustrated now. Okay, I know it's really easy for me to sit here and say that, but you're really being cheered on in a way from Spirit, telling you that You're about to receive what you put out there even a long time ago. You know, the work that you've invested in, it's going to come back to you. I just feel like what Spirit is saying is you have to just get yourself in the right place mentally. Because I know how frustrating it can be when you feel like you've been putting in so much effort and you're just chipping away at something and you're waiting for, your return on things. It's like almost like you're at the finish line and you feel like you're going to give up. But don't do that. Don't sabotage your successes. Don't start to gyp yourself now after you've been working so hard. Because you're at the finish line about to receive. Keep pressing forward. Do you see what I mean? Because that's why I talk about this energy being very self-inflicted, because there's nothing preventing this person from moving forward. It's what they're telling themselves. And these words kind of bind this person, where if they would just change their mindset and speak differently to themselves, I feel like they could easily break free from what binds them. I feel like they could. And if they were to do that and not let their anxieties get the best of them, not let their their disappointment for things maybe not happening as fast as they wanted it to, don't let that get the best of you. Because I feel like if you do, you're going to sabotage something that you've been working so hard toward. It's all going to come back to you. It's just waiting to come back to you. So that's why I can see this visualization of like, I'm at the finish line. You're about to cross. So there's a lot of encouraging messages to someone from Spirit to not give up. Everything that you have your heart set on and your sight set on, you know that you're going to achieve that, right? Like, I feel like I have to ask you that question and say that to you, because you wouldn't have these goals or these ambitions or want these things if you hadn't already charted those experiences for yourself. And by charted, I mean the way that you composed your life before you came into it. The experiences that you wrote on your scroll that you wanted to have. You strive for all of these amazing things and you have all of these goals because you are meant to achieve those goals. Otherwise, you wouldn't want them. Otherwise, you wouldn't have those ambitions or those dreams. It's going to come to you. I feel like you really need to know that. Don't get in your own way. I talk about that even because there's all of this angelic energy coming through, and then you see this road with no obstacles in it, and it leads to something very successful. I feel like that's your road, your path, where you're meant to go, what you're meant to achieve. Side note for some of you here, I feel like it's also very important that you don't judge a book by its cover. Because you could have a helpful person that's trying to come into your life that maybe because of preconceived notions, you right off the bat want to tell this person no. Or right off the bat, you want to refuse any kind of assistance from them or service from them or collaboration with them. Because maybe this is not a person that you ever pictured working with or, working with in that way or being connected to work-wise. But I feel like Spirit is even telling you to not judge a book by its cover, because you could have a very helpful person trying to come into your life and it's someone like you never pictured. It could definitely have to do with their age. And maybe because of it's even like you could be thinking that they're not truly capable of what they're capable of because they are so young, much younger than you. It could even have to do with their appearance. Someone that maybe doesn't come across as, in a corporate world, very professional. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's someone who has like really colorful hair, because this person I feel like even has a number of tattoos. And they're kind of being judged on outer appearances, or you could be in a position where you're judging a book by its cover, But don't underestimate that person, because remember, you're on the path to receiving. So I feel like who comes into your life in July is because they aligned with you being on the path to receiving. It's a helpful person that's trying to come your way. It just feels like their appearance is almost like a curveball, and you're questioning whether or not you should work with this person, collaborate with this person, hire this person even, or trust this person. But I feel like the message to you is you should trust them. You should employ them. You should work with them. You should collaborate with them. It's very interesting in your reading because I can see where you're on the path to receive. You have wishes that are about to come true for you. And don't stop when you're just about to cross that finish line. Don't get in your own way. If you feel like you're in your own head and that's something that's very powerful for you, and when you get in your own head like this, you kind of drain your own energy. I know it's easier said than done, but now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to dig really deep. So your messages are all about encouragement. Now, when it comes to money, let's see what your messages are from Spirit regarding money. It's almost like easy come, easy go. I feel like some of you here in July could just be in a position where you feel like you're making money easily, but then like as easily as you make it, you spend it as well. Be careful not to be trying to fill a void with money and materialism, because some of you here could just be spending it's like retail therapy, or even as a way to curb a loneliness that you feel. You could be spending because there's someone that you want to see and that you miss. You could be homesick. You could even be missing your family and your friends, and because of that you feel like you get comfort by spending. But what I can see about that is it almost looks like there's just a loneliness or a void or something else is missing, and you try to fulfill that with spending money, materialism, things like that. You'd probably be so much better off if instead of spending, you go and spend time with the people that you miss, if that's at all possible. Like if you know that you're long distance from your friends and your family, or you're long distance from your loved one, instead of like spending money going out to eat and like shopping and buying random things, you'd be so much happier if you just got like a plane ticket, or you just planned a trip for yourself to actually travel and go and see who it is that you miss so badly. Because the materialism and the possessions that you buy, it's not going to do it for you in July. And if you feel like, well, I'm stuck right now and I can't get away, is there someone that you can actually spend your money on and send for to come to you? Because that's something to really consider. And it makes me wonder, have you considered that at all? Like if you can't go to where they are, can they come to you? Because what I can see around your money is you're trying to fill a void where something bigger is missing. And it just has to do with you needing more time with loved ones, more companionship. And if you feel like you're in, because I feel like someone is away from everyone that, they're away from their family, they're away from their friends and loved ones. So for anyone here that's traveling, I think that you should strongly consider, if you have a break in the time between work, that you can go pay these people a visit, or if you can send someone money to come see you. Or even if that's not an option, you're so much better off if you get yourself into an environment where you're around more people. So maybe even a hobby that you've been wanting to try, maybe finding like a group that does some of the things that you like, that you can be involved with. This is actually like spending time with people face to face. And I feel like if you do that, it's going to prevent you from spending money and trying to feel better. It's not like you don't have the money to spend. You have the money to spend. But that there's a bigger reason to why you're actually spending money like this. For someone here, funny enough, if you feel like you're lonely and you're even looking for love, you want love to come in, I feel like your personal message of advice from Spirit is to tap into something that you've been wanting to try. It could even, like I said, getting yourself involved in a group, maybe even a hobby that you've been wanting to try, getting out in nature, and maybe even an activity or a sport that you've been wanting to try. If you resonate with that energy, what Spirit is showing me is you're actually going to meet someone while you're trying a new hobby or activity. So this could even be someone's affirmation from Spirit, like, do they have love coming in? Yes, you do have love coming in. But it has to do with when you shift the focus off of spending money for all the wrong reasons, and you get to the bottom of like what you feel is missing in your life. That money is just not going to fulfill what's missing. So I feel like there's this strong message. If you possibly go and travel, make plans with someone that you miss to go see them. And if you can't go to them, try to find a way to get them to come to you. That's the best thing to spend money on in July. Is like a trip, or going to see someone, or maybe even like an experience or a vacation. It's not about like items, materialism in that way. The best thing for you to spend money on is making memories and having an experience for yourself. And when I look at the beginning of the reading and I see that whole vibe of easy come, easy go, it just feels like money is flowing in very freely for you. And you're not going to feel like you're struggling at all money-wise, because I see where you're actually in a position where if you do have the time, you can spend money to take a trip, to go somewhere, to see someone, or your family, your friends, or just even a trip that you could plan as an experience. So if you feel like you've been struggling money-wise, know that things are gonna really turn around for you, because you're gonna find that money starts to flow to you so fast, and even in ways that you didn't expect. Comes to you very easily. You definitely have this energy around you of generosity and receiving when it comes to money. And it's funny because if someone wants money, all they have to do is ask for it. I know that's kind of a random message, but if someone here has been wondering, like, should I ask for this amount of money? Whether that's you're asking for a raise, or you're asking for money from a family member, they're going to say yes, because you're aligned to receive. You're actually aligned for money to flow into your life very easily and frequently. And that's why I can see you making money and spending money. It's like, easy come, easy go. But then there's this deeper message to get to the bottom of what is missing that money cannot give to you, that money cannot buy. So you're so much better off spending your money on experiences rather than possessions, items, clothes, bags, shoes. It's like that's not going to fulfill for you what you need fulfilled. So if you've been wondering, is it time to plan a trip? Is it time to plan a vacation? If I do, what is the outcome going to be? The time is perfect for that. And I can see where if you can literally plan it sooner rather than later, you're going to come back feeling very fulfilled. You're going to come back feeling like it was an experience that you much needed. It could even help you become much more grounded. And even I feel like a smaller message to someone here is, when is the last time you actually took time off from work? When is the last time you had a vacation, even if you're just going to be local and enjoy yourself locally? When is the last time you actually did that? Because it just feels like some of you here could be be putting too much emphasis even on making money, thinking that it's going to make you feel fulfilled when you're making it easily, but something is still missing in your energy. I think it's all about you just connecting back with your loved ones, friends, family, or maybe even romantically, someone that you haven't seen in a while that you do want to see. And for others of you, where there is this vibe of easy come, easy go, I wouldn't be surprised if you do have someone that asks you for money, that reaches out, that you end up helping someone that is in a situation where they feel very desperate. They could be behind. They could even be behind on like a mortgage payment, behind on their rent. Could even be a loved one that you end up helping money wise. The more you help, the more fulfilled you will feel. The more you shift your focus from money to positive experiences, making memories, the more fulfilled and grounded you will feel. And what's really funny about that is if you're someone who feels like, well, I'm just struggling for money overall and I want more money to come to me, what's really interesting about this message from Spirit is the less the less you focus on what you feel is lacking money wise, and the more you shift your focus onto the abundance of love that you have around you coming from your loved ones, you actually tune into the frequency of receiving. So it's very ironic when, if you feel like you're lacking money, you keep focusing on the way that you're lacking money. Stop focusing on that and focus on what you have to be thankful for in your life, your health, those around you, those that you love and care about. Because when you shift the focus onto that, you tune into receiving. And money is a part of receiving. And you're going to find that when you stop focusing on the money that you're lacking and you shift your energy and focus on what you have to be grateful for, money will come to you more naturally and frequently. But for those of you that are in this position where you know you're in a good spot, you make money very easily, you know when you're going to get paid, how much you're going to get paid, and that's not something that you're focusing on as lacking, but you still don't feel fulfilled, it's kind of the opposite for you. Because the less money you spend on possessions, materialism, and shift that onto trying to have experiences with memories that will last a lifetime, the more fulfilled you will be. All right, you guys, so that's what's going on for you career-wise and money-wise in July. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.